Hello and welcome to our Fierce Friday Million Mom Movement call. This is November the 4th. We're in the first week of November already, guys. And my name is Carmela Velarde. I've been with the Million Mom Movement Council now for a couple of years. And I'm joined with my council members, Naiva Flores in Hawaii and Taz Ferreira in Florida. Michelle Ricci, our newest member, is not here with us today, but she sends her regards. and I'm personally passionate about the Million Mom movement because it is the activism arm of the organic superfood manufacturing company Purium. Pure and Premium put together is the company's name, and it really does stand behind their name. It's all about the integrity of the food and the quality of the nutrient density. And we're coming upon something really exciting, which is a holiday season. We just left the Halloween season, and I love to help empower this community and my team with more education and more community building opportunities to really gather and educate. And for those of you who don't know my story, when I was very young, I was plagued with leaky gut. I was diagnosed with ADHD, borderline Hashimoto's, lupus, eczema, and I had a great awakening when I went all organic. And I had a wellness center, and I had definitely gone through so many different detoxification programs and cleanses, and I hosted them. I did them with my people. So I knew how they felt and how not sustainable they really were. And so that's why I get really excited to bring this type of topic, which is seasonal transformation, to the table, because this is something that even during the holidays, believe it or not, you're able to stay and remain on a healthy regimen. So Thanksgiving's right around the corner. It's November the 24th. And then Black Friday is the day after, on the 25th. So for those of you who are brand partners in the company, it's a really important time and it's an ideal time to have these conversations with our already coaching clients who we have, but also those who we're creating relationships with, how to support them and their need for seasonal detoxification. So I want to support you with having those conversations and feeling empowered to share with them what it is that we do in our community to continue to be healthy, even during these toxic times. We went through it all through Halloween, and I hope you got to watch those episodes and rewatch them, because sugar and artificial colors and food dyes are all prevalent in every grocery that we know of. So, and our kids are always craving for them. If you are a parent with children during the holidays, candy in general and artificial foods are just not what we want to encourage. So it is also the busiest travel day of the year. So the time is now to start getting active, getting organized. And what's happening with other people around you with their own health journeys? What's going on with yours? What is happening right now? So for most people, the holidays are sometimes the best time of the year, right? There's an abundance of quality time with family and friends. There's good food, good energy, and the season brings a lot of happiness. But it could also trigger emotions, and it could also trigger difficult challenges with family members. So, this also curtails into sometimes unhealthy habits of eating and drinking and binging. And this is why we want to lean on the topic of seasonal transformations, because I find that holidays can be sometimes quite sad or difficult for many. So although there's a lot of joy, there could also be that. So just to acknowledge those in the community who are going through their things, I find that this lifestyle really does support you, because we know that gut health has a lot to do with mental health, and serotonin, 95% of it is built in the gut. So if we do help those who are a little bit depressed, or they're going through maybe some, nostalgic feelings of family members who have passed, or people are going through difficult times, we definitely want to focus still on gut health. So I have a few things that I'm excited to share with you all, and they're tips from me and from the Million Mom movement, because that's what we come to with. It's our tips, our ways that we as active, actively participating in our own families' regimens, how we bring this lifestyle into your homes daily. And so while the holidays can bring all the holiday cheer, they also bring all the temptations of the high calorie foods, the beverages, the drinks, what do they call the spirits, and it could help. And it could also potentially lead to weight gain and inflammation of pre-existing conditions. And sometimes you break patterns of good health during this time. And just because maybe I can just, cheat a little bit. But you may have had those already in place. And we just want to encourage you that this is not the time to do that. Even though it might be a season of eating and gathering for a meal, it doesn't mean you have to indulge. It doesn't mean that. So what can we do? I'm going to give you some tips of my ideas of how to celebrate this holiday with some focus, a little bit of alignment. So I think I have about, 14 tips, guys. So gear up. So the first one, it's a good idea to not save your appetite for the main event. Please don't come starving to any main event that you're going to be attending with your family. Some people show up ravenous because they're so busy getting the kids perfectly dressed, taking pictures for maybe the Christmas pictures for the holiday. They're so busy that they don't even eat. Well, when you're that hungry, what happens to your willpower? It's out the door and it actually disappears. You will literally grab the candy, you'll grab a drink, you will grab whatever that's in sight. So this is one way to just make sure that even though things are really busy, travel, family gathering, and getting everybody ready, just take care of you first. If you're cooking or if you're serving, you're hosting, think about only having no more than 2 sweet treats for the holiday dinner. Sometimes I see people with like a table full of desserts. And I said, well, if it has our superfoods in it, maybe it's okay. But oftentimes it's more like cakes with icing, chocolates and donuts and things like that. Well, instead, think of using our products. And I love to use sorbet and nice cream. You have it in the freezer, so it's not even visible. And when you pull it out, it's like an event in itself because you're like, I have this amazing dish, these different colorful sorbets, nice creams, and we can make them out of dark berry protein, MVP family chocolate, the cocoa hydrate may be mixed in with our biofruit. And if you have the peppermint bark protein, I heard somebody ask about a recipe. What about making it into a nice cream? Right? And just add a little bit more cacao in there. So there's a lot of ways to incorporate our products. I like creating like a pumpkin walnut bread or muffins that are vegan and gluten-free. There's so many ways you could do this. Definitely the pumpkin puree. I like adding the super meal vanilla chai. And these are desserts. There are really great ways to even make icing clean, right? That from coconut oil, and you could use coconut sugar, and you really just keep it simple, not heavy. And no matter what you're doing is you're setting the stage first with the meal. So the meal itself should be very alkaline. So when it comes to the desserts, you don't want it to be overly sweet. Cranberry, right? This is a very common side dish. Just make sure it's so simple to make it fresh and organic. And I find that people make it kind of like overly sweet and they use cans. No, this is a great dish that really changes up all the greens. And if you do eat meat, it's a nice fruit dish. So just have it with a squeeze of fresh orange juice, a little raw honey, not all that white sugar that's in a lot of the recipes that I see everybody eat, and just organic cranberries. It's so simple. I made it many Thanksgivings. I have number 5 here. Many Thanksgiving recipes feature a lot of added sugar and cream. So swap that out. Avoid inflammatory ingredients whenever possible and try your best to have lighter options when you're cooking, and offer to bring a healthy dish as well that could be missing. So maybe if that's the green bean casserole, right? Make it yourself, but do it with your ingredients and say, I'll take care of this one dish. whoever's the host will be probably really happy if that's a staple. Then do it in a healthy way and do it in a good portion. So when you know you're bringing it to the table, if you're a health coach or if you're in this community, make sure that your stamp is in the meal. That's what I encourage for you, because that way you start these conversations as well. And bringing a dish and then talking about it is just another way to have a conversation. Use sprouted grain bread for stuffing. I like this Ezekiel bread, and it has raisins in them. And a lot of people put like a lot of salt, and it's just not good. Or white bread or wheat bread. And if you've ever seen the documentary What's with Wheat, many people are not actually gluten intolerant. They're just really not able to digest the gluten that has glyphosate. And that's why it's so important. I'm going to go into, trust me, the transformation itself and how we can incorporate that as well. But sprouted grain bread, you can make a lot of dishes into that too. I even make it for French onion soup. Sprouted grain bread for all choices, please, because it's easily digested. Make sure your plate is colorful, right? So make sure the majority of your plate is very, very colorful and full of vegetables. I have this one dish that my kids love, not just on Thanksgiving, but always. It's sweet potato with tropical oil drizzled and caramel apple fiber. And it turns out to be crispy on the edges and a little soft in the middle. And that coconut oil with the caramel apple fiber, it's so beneficial. And you want that maybe as an appetizer, right? Like, or I don't know how everybody does their meals, or maybe it's just an ongoing buffet and just have that as a part. We did a really great, can't beat this, in barley grass garlic hummus. That could also be a wonderful side dish. Sometimes people don't do hummus, but the colors in them, I think, are so festive, and you could dress it up with like some herbs. Number 8 is focus on spending the time with the family and friends and yourself. So don't be digging in there, the food all day long just because it's out. Really take the time to listen to your body and just be present in the moment always. I know when people have these holidays, they can be very anxious, it can be very stressful, and just to, really enjoy the moment with your family and friends, do something to get outdoors as well. And this includes, like, afterwards, sleeping in a little bit, maybe. Just enjoy the time with your family and take good care of your body all throughout, because it could be very stressful. You may not think this is a little tip, but the dinnerware actually helps you to portion what we eat. So if you have a larger plate, you actually will not fill it as much. So it's funny, but it tricks your brain into thinking that you don't have a lot of food on your plate. And when you put food in a smaller plate, your brain is thinking that you have a lot more food on your plate. So portions matter. I mentioned earlier about physical activity throughout the day. This is what breaks up this holiday. And I know many of you might be cooking, but don't forget the physical activity. The 3 pillars of health are nutrition, sleep, and movement medicine. So don't leave that out, because many people could be already sedentary from their jobs, and then they're traveling and they're cooking and then they're eating a lot. So moving is super important. And there are some in my neighborhood, in my area, turkey trots, 5K runs. I did one 2 years ago with my daughter and son, which was a 5K walk run during the post Thanksgiving. And it was really nice to plan it. And some people like to play football, in the yard. Maybe do that while in the middle of the day while people are gathering in the home, so that there's some activity and physical activity while we're eating, so they're not just stagnated and sitting and eating all day. Have activities for the kids that are fun and moving and getting them around, not just sitting. This tip here is something I'll never forget. My very first health coach told me was chew slow. Chew each bite slowly. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, I do that already. And I'm up. I'm that person who's the slowest eater at the table. And everyone's like, I don't know how you do that. But It's because you're enjoying your food. And actually, when you masticate, you're breaking down the food with enzymes. And those enzymes, that's the first place of digestion, is your mouth. So make sure you chew slowly. And sometimes when you're talking to people over dinner, it's nice because then you chew a little, you chew more and you eat slowly because you're also talking and you don't want to be talking with your mouth full. So you tend to chew slowly. And you want to also encourage that in your children. So whatever you do, your children are watching and looking. Don't forget to hydrate. Definitely, definitely, definitely. It's drink plenty of your water, half of your weight in ounces. This is what's going to help you feel fuller longer. And you want to keep the starchy veggies and carbs to the size of an ice cream scoop because you want to keep the glycemic levels low because the sugar will be released into your blood slower. And so this one tip is specific for those with diabetes because you need to hydrate more and you need more high fiber and you want to eat the things that have the low glycemic levels mean sugar will be released slower. So this is what you want to focus on. And my last tip that I was thinking about, and this is kind of a funny one, but just don't wear tight clothing because then you're going to not feel the need to like, oh, I can open your pants, wear tighter pants to dinner, or just feel like, comfortable, don't wear the sweatpants. Wear something like form-fitting and nice and proper, and that way you don't want to feel like overextended. You will feel your body when it's overextended. In other words, we want to keep everybody who does a detoxification protocol with our Purium products, they know that you become more sensitive to everything, to how you taste food, how much of the food you eat, if food has any chemicals in them, it's pretty clear. And so I'm going to move into, yes, you can absolutely cleanse during the holidays. How? The question is, how? All right, well, let me see this. I made a little chart. Can you guys see this? You give me a thumbs up. You can see it? Okay. So I created this little square, and I'm going to share it into the Million Mom Movement official. But if you have clients, if you're coaching people through the transformation, and we always tell people, well, the ULT is ideal. It is ideal to start out with. However, during the holidays, they say, well, how am I going to do that? How if I'm going to be breaking up my program with a holiday or a birthday or a wedding, whatever it is, they're saying, how do I do it? Well, it's very important to look at how do I look at my day of eating? And so we have 3 different schedules, as you might know, that are the simplified schedule. Then we have the intermittent fasting and the accelerated. So those schedules are not what you're looking at here. This is a totally different way of looking at it. And I just created it as my own way of coaching my own clients, which is you're going to be getting 2 core 4s and a super cleanser and a zinc aid in the ULT. So what is that? You're getting 60 meals. So when you break it apart differently than the 3 schedules, you're looking at it day by day. What can you commit to? Because that's essentially the thing. What can you have your clients commit to and support them in committing to? Well, this is what it breaks down to. A superfood meal is your protein, fruits, vegetables, and the gut cleanser. That's the core 4. And then you have lifestyle meals. So how many lifestyle meals? If you have the core 4, you have 2 lifestyle meals, which is why I said, times one, just to keep it really simple for people. But then when you go into the simplified schedule, you have 2 superfood meals, where then you have 1 lifestyle meal only. And then when you do the immersion, those days where you have all the time to chill, to not have to be socializing or pressured into any food engagements with others, then do the immersion. You can even do an immersion for 1 day. Sure, why not? You could do whatever you want to do with these products, to be honest. If you want to be really strict, you can try to be, but that's not real life. We're parents and we have events. We have things that happen like on the weekends where maybe we have to eat out or, we have engagements. Well, don't beat yourself up. This is where planning helps you to really stick with being healthy in general, because whenever you're engaged and you're intentional about what you're doing for your regimen, then you have control. When you have control, then you're organized. So let's help others to be organized by ourselves knowing, how do I set up my day? So most days, and I would recommend this for all, everybody always be on the core four. Always be on the core four, because it's one meal a day you get to swap out. Some people don't even eat for 3 meals a day, and then all of a sudden they're doing 3 meals a day because they have the core four. Well, imagine just how much more nutrition they're getting because they're doing the core four, as well as their only 2 meals. It's amazing. It's so much nutrition. And we want this level of support for them. Now, the simplified schedule, those are the days where, look, we're parents, we have to cook for our families. We want to eat and sit down with our husbands, maybe our partners, and the kids. I have my parents, 2 kids, and 2 dogs, and my husband. I cook for them pretty much every single night if we don't go out. And so this is a big meal I plan every day. And so that simplified schedule, I live on it. This saves me. It saves me, guys, because there are 4 adults in my house and 2 kids that I cook for. And when I do, it's a good feast. Enjoy that feast. Enjoy that meal. Make it a great meal. Enjoy food. But don't think that, oh gosh, the quality I have to eat with every meal, the breakfast and lunch, all I eat is like a little thing of blueberries. Keep it simple, a pear, a green apple. I mean, and then I have that one main meal. So, I have my shake right here. So I go through my day with ease and true, just, I enjoy it. I have so much energy, and the simplified schedule you can live on. I live on it as a parent. Now, the immersion. Why do people during the holidays, why are people more willing to do an immersion after the holidays? We only had a 10-day cleanse for a very, very long time until we moved into the core four, and then we moved into the 30-day. Well, the immersion is going hard. We're going deep. You're going vegan. And this means people have to take out complex carbs. People have to take out protein from animal products. And they say, I want to do that. That's what I need. I need to do something really strict. And I'm like, great, because they know there's so much stagnation in there. Do you know the average American has about 5 pounds of embedded fecal matter that is not digested in their gut? And I mean, when you do the immersion, what it kicks up energetically is adiponectin, because even just with 2 shakes, you get the proper amount of adiponectin to activate the skinny hormone, the metabolizing hormone. When you do the immersion, you're getting 3 shakes. Now, if you want to up it even more, add in the caramel apple fiber. That's for added weight loss. And now you're getting like ×2 the amount of adiponectin than average daily dose of kicking it up would need. Now, if you need that because you feel really stagnated or you have a lot of toxic load on you, go for the immersion and add in the apple fiber, the caramel apple fiber, or the original fiber, daily fiber. So you're going to want to add the super cleanser in 2 in the morning and 2 in the PM. So we do recommend you do get the ULT, and I always recommend Zinc Aid. Why it's so important to have Zinc Aid is people do need the whole food zinc that we have in our product, and vitamin D. So many people are D deficient, and C is so important for nutrient absorption as well. I mean, it's just a given to me that everyone should be with the Zinc Aid as well as the ULT. And then day by day, see what can I commit to? What kind of day do I have during my holidays? So what I recommend is that pre-holiday, start weaning out of things like acidic foods that are not good habits. Maybe if you drink a lot of caffeine, or you drink alcohol every single day, or if you have processed foods or fast foods, start with a core 4. Wean in slowly. You know, you don't want to do it hardcore because you're going to have physical effects of detoxification that you just don't want, like headaches, body aches. I've been through it. I had candida. I had all those effects, and it was really hard. I was, lying in a fetal position in bed when I was going through them. So I urge you to just slowly wean out of these things for about 3 days and then go into the simplified schedule, and listen to your body. This is where, during the holidays, it's coming, this day of eating and stress will be coming. So wean in by wean out of the foods through the core 4 that are inflammatory, and then move to simplified for all up until the holiday. And then after the holiday, take a break, do the core 4 again, and then go deeper into the immersion. Now you have to understand how the program works. Like I was telling you about how adiponectin works. When you uptake this hormone that is a metabolizing hormone, you can control it. When you can control your food, how it works for you functionally to help you metabolize, all the better. Elimination. Is your elimination good? How are your bowel movements? If you're not seeing healthy bowel movements, this is a great calling to do a detox. And we can daily detox with ease and grace. A couple of other products that I wanted to recommend are the Control Pre-Meal Capsules, which I love. You could take a couple of them before meals. And this has that Garnecia Grambrosia. It has ways to help break down the food so that you're actually able to then assimilate the food quicker. It also cuts your cravings for eating too much. And then the enzyme advantage. This is very important for a lot of people who are lactose intolerant, who don't have the histamine to break down alcohol, like myself as well. When you need more enzymes. And this is, you also know that you need to eat and chew more. So we have all these different aids for, actually, I wanted to pass it over to my other colleagues to ask their ideas and tips, maybe for the products and for recipes. I'd love to hear them.
Carm, that was incredible. I'm taking notes as you're saying. I'm like, yeah, I don't take my time when I eat. I eat so fast, and I know it. And it's so true. Everything you were saying is right on point. And why wait till January to do a cleanse? Start now. Start preparing your body now to not, become sick and to not have these detox flus, because you don't need to go through that. So I wanted to talk, so Halloween just passed, right? Everyone's sick. Everyone's going through, I don't know about you guys, but everyone in my kids' school, they're all sick. They're like, they developed some stomach flu, some appendicitis is going around, something they're developing, okay? And I'm like, well, did you look at what they were eating? You talk about that one day, but it actually isn't that one day. You're paying for it days, weeks, hopefully not months later, right? So this is why we always talk about our pledge. Our pledge needs to be something that we use in our daily life, that we do and we stand for. Whenever we go grocery shopping, when we're making a purchase, think about it. Does that have artificial ingredients? Is that processed foods? Does that have sugar that could be harming my body and my kids? Well, you know what? The pledge is something that we should look into our food every day and be who we stand for and stand by. So let's read the pledge together. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom movement. So a lot of you, if you don't know, my movement, my mission started with my son and not knowing about glyphosate toxicity and biomedic. I didn't understand the importance about organic foods. I thought we were super healthy. We were living our best life. But then my son became sick. He had eczema, he had IBS, and everyone that I spoke to, everyone said this was normal. So this is what drove me onto this mission, to educate moms out there that this is not normal. Just because we were told This is normal doesn't mean it's optimal and does not mean it's something we need to live with. There is a solution and we have the solution. It's worked for myself. It's worked with so many mamas around us. And this is why we're loud with this mission. This is why we're loud with this pledge that we need to look at what's in the food, how it's affecting us, and even during the season. So Halloween passed. Now we're going into fall. And what happens to us mamas? We're stressed and we're exhausted, right? I know it happens to me all the time. And you know what's happening this weekend? Daylight savings time. So let's not fall backwards with our health. And how can we do that? We can start looking at our core four. This is something I love including into my daily routine. You know, if you were early in our call, you guys were asking recipes, right? And of course, I can think of a recipe at the top of my head because our superfoods are my super meals. This is how I eat. This is part of our daily life. So start thinking of our superfoods, of ways that you incorporate it into your daily life. So it's an extension of your groceries. So you know what to make. Okay, you have pasta, you have sauces, you know how to put that together. So let's do the same thing. You have a power shake, you have a fiber blend, zinc aid. How are we going to put this together? Thank you for showing our recipes. So on the Million Mom Movement, we have all of these amazing recipes. And Carm gave an amazing tip of bringing your own meal. Whenever you're going for Thanksgiving, volunteer. Okay, I can make this dish. And you know what? Add our superfoods in there. A lot of people are doing that now. So I like saying, you know, when we say how it's normal to add white sugar, I say it's normal to add coconut sugar. Start normalizing our food, our healthy food. Say, oh, it's so normal to add that. This is our norm. We have to create a norm that we want to see, right? If we don't create it, who will? We want our kids to grow up with this normalcy. It's so normal. Coconut sugar, date sugar, barley grass. This is so easy. So here's a great rule of thumb for the recipes. If you're cooking anything orange, use our carrot juice plus. Cook with colors. If you're using anything red, cranberry sauce, add the biofruit, add the apothecary, add dark berry. Become creative, okay? But there's one rule to that you have to break. That is barley grass. Barley grass added to chocolate. Okay, whenever you have barley grass, sneak it into chocolate. Your kids will never know. But besides barley grass, everything else just work with the colors. If you're doing pineapple, coconut hydrate. I remember Naiva has a delicious cheesecake. I mean, there's so many recipes that we have that if you just focus on the colors, because we eat with our eyes, you know, we can create beautiful, delicious recipes. There's chocolate chips that I make, and the kids don't miss out because this is why a lot of people feel about doing a cleanse. They think of deprivation. Well, what can I not eat? Oh, I can't eat that. And I'm like, forget about that. Eat as much as you want. Just make it healthy. Just transition. Before you go to that meal, have a power shake. The core four is essential. Have your power shake before going. Of course, you're not going to be having a big salad when you're there. No one's going to have a salad. I know I'm not, but have the power shake. You're like, I had my salad. So when you're having that sweet potato pie, maybe you'll need to go back for seconds. You can have one and you're like, I'm done. I'm good. I feel amazing. Maybe sprinkle some carrot juice plus on that. I mean, there's so many things that you can do. So during this time, and we're going through daylight savings time, have you guys ever heard about seasonal depression? I know myself living in Montreal, when this time happens, it's so dark outside. My mood completely shifts. Going to pick up the kids, everything becomes much, much harder. I become more tired, colder. I don't want to do the same things I did before. I'm less productive, right? So things that can help you with that are green juices. Green juices help so much with that. So have the power shake. Exactly. SADs. So, and we don't like SADs and we don't like, you know, standard American diet. So that works in two ways as well, right? So a great way to do that is to incorporate a green juice every day. And we need to regulate our melatonin levels because we're not getting enough vitamin D. we're not getting enough vitamin D. So now we're not producing enough melatonin because all of these minerals work together. Okay. So introducing the Zincade, for sure, we need it because we don't have the sunlight, and having the apothecary at night. There's one secret that I started that really helped me with SADS, and that is super xanthan. Did you guys know that? Super xanthan actually really helps. I remember I used to buy those lights and put it next to my bed to help with my production while, it was always so dark. Once, and nothing helped. But once I started incorporating the super xanthan, this started helping. And you know why? The super xanthan has a lot of antioxidants. And that's what my body needed. It needed another amount of antioxidants. And I was like, okay, as soon as I started incorporating it, I started feeling so much better. So that's another tip. So include the super xanthan. And the super xanthan actually helps detoxify your kidneys. You guys know that? It's an antioxidant that helps detoxify your kidneys. And why is that important? Well, it helps your blood glucose level. And we are going through the diabetes month, so it helps with diabetes as well, right? And we want to keep our blood sugar low because that's what makes us exhausted. So add super xanthan, and I love incorporating, upping my omegas, and I love incorporating my spirulina, which I find in the power shake, or sometimes I add a little bit more, and astaxanthin and vitamin D. Okay, and now we're talking about stress. Our body's going through so much stress during this time, and I need super easy tips. So having my power shake there, and what happens is that because it becomes dark so quickly, I lose track of time. Has that ever happened to you? That happens to me all the time. I lose track of time. And I'm like, did I even eat? Did I even have lunch today? But if I have my power shake with me and I have a ball of water, I know I'm good. Okay, I took care of myself that way. So I could be there for my kids and show up and be there for them. Okay. And to reduce my stress levels, I incorporate white American ginseng. So after I had my second child, my adrenals were all over the place. They didn't know how to regulate themselves. I had too much coffee, so much stress my entire life. But the white American ginseng has helped me on so many levels. So it's an adaptogen that works, and it helps my adrenals. And now I don't need coffee anymore. I have my white American ginseng every day, and I don't feel exhaustion during the afternoon. So while I incorporate the core 4 plus immune, because the immune has a Zincade, I add the super xanthan and I add the white American ginseng. This has been my go-to every winter season. So before you're going into the fall, start stocking up on this and start taking care of your body from the inside out. So when you go to those family gatherings, you're not stressed. You're not feeling overwhelmed. You can be there for your family. You can be there with your friends. And you know what? I never tell someone you can't drink or you can't eat this. What happens is that when you flood your body with this nutrition, you start listening, okay? So if you have all of these alkalizing foods and you have that glass of wine, you know what you say? Taz, that wine doesn't taste the same. It doesn't taste great. I'm like, really? Maybe listen to your body. Look at that. So we start training our body to what's happening and we start listening. So I love empowering mamas and each other how to listen, how to pay attention to what's going on in your body. So those seasons happen, you don't get sick. You feel better than ever. You're more productive than ever. You have those deadlines. You have school projects to help your kids with. You have dances. You have so many things that life will throw at you. At least you know you are taking care of yourself right now. And you don't have to wait till January, right? Okay, I'll pass it to you, Naiva, to hear about your amazing tips and tricks.
Thank you so much, Taz and Carmela. So much knowledge between you ladies. I took lots of notes. I'm sure everyone else here did too. And Oh my goodness, there's so much to share about. So Diabetes Awareness Month, right? We're going to be sharing about this more in the coming weeks as well. But you mentioned the Control Pre-Meal capsules. I think Carmela had talked about that. And that is also something that helps with diabetes as well. It helps to lower your blood sugar. It also helps you to metabolize carbs. If you end up eating carbs or sugar, it helps you to metabolize that. So that way you don't get that sugar spike like you usually would. And so those Control Pre-Meal capsules are amazing during the holidays, and it's great for all of us. You know what? Dave told me that that is the most underused product that Purium has. Know why? Because diabetes is such a huge issue right now. There's 1 in 10 people in America will have diabetes in our lifetime. So this is very important. And the other staggering statistic is that only 90% of Americans don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. And so that is actually the leading cause of why so many of us have these detrimental diseases that are caused by inflammation. It's caused by eating so much processed food and not getting enough fruits and vegetables on a daily basis, which is why we came out with our new fruit and veggie pack. It's so simple, it's so effective. And I've had some amazing testimonies come out of just using the very basic package. And what I love about it is this pack, the fruit and veggie pack, is more replacing drinks than replacing meals. And the reason I wanted to bring that to the table today is because a lot of times we think about the superfoods as I'm doing a cleanse. I can't do that while I'm eating. I can't do that during the holidays. But with Purium, that's not the case. We have something for every time of year. And the fruit and veggie pack is great because it's helping you get your fruits and vegetables every day, and with the green spectrum and the bio fruit. And then you have the Aloe Digest, which helps with your digestion and breaking down all of those foods. You know, maybe we overeat a little bit during the holidays, and having that Aloe Digest to turn to and help you digest when you're feeling a little bloated or you ate too much is an amazing solution to the problem. And it's way better than the other solutions that you may or may not have in your cabinet. So I suggest having the Aloe Digest on hand, as well as the whole fruit and veggie pack, because it's also something easy that you can share with people at a holiday party. You could be the one that brings the healthy drinks to the party to go with all the food to help everybody feel good after they eat that holiday meal, that they have Aloe Digest. You can serve everybody an Aloe Digest and help them all feel amazing right after eating all that food. So think about this not as something you can only do after New Year's, but let's think of it as something we can do as a lifestyle every single day. I also love what the ladies shared about Core 4. That's our staple here. As you all know, protein, fruits, vegetables, gut health every single day. Super simple, $5 a day, a couple minutes a day. It's amazing. And with that, Core 4, it's something that you can continue to do even on Thanksgiving, right? Because you're just replacing one meal with that Core 4. So you could have that as your breakfast option or your lunch option, and you can still include that in that simple schedule. You can include that in throughout the entire holiday season. So, you know, you don't have to quit for the weekend unless you absolutely want to, but I can promise you, if you quit for the weekend, you're not going to feel as good as if you just continued getting the greens, because it's all about balance, right? It's all about getting balance on a daily basis with all of the nutrition that you need. And a huge thing about diabetes is it's a disease caused from malnutrition, from getting way too much carbs, way too much sugar, and not enough fruits and vegetables. So we can reverse the statistics by helping more people get that simple Core 4 or fruit and veggie pack into their monthly order, into their cabinet, into their pantry, and that they can start using this every day right now. And we can have incredible testimonials by New Year's. People can have already had amazing results. And why wait, right? Why go through the holidays? There's a statistic during the holidays that most people in America gain 10 to 20 pounds during the holiday season. That's in the next 2 months. So think about that statistic, and how can we reverse that statistic? Let's make it so we can lose 5 to 10 pounds in the next 2 months and still go through the holidays feeling incredible in our body and not feeling sluggish or worn down or any of those other things that come with overeating, because we know that we're going to be around a lot of friends and family. The holidays are all about eating food and having wonderful drinks and being around company. And sometimes it's hard to turn away some of those options. Which brings me to the Biomedic, right? The Biomedic helps to reduce the glyphosate in your gut, which is in 85% of our food supply. So if you're going out to a holiday party and not everybody's going to bring an organic meal to the party, and whether or not you decide to partake in all of the food, you could still bring Biomedic and share about it. Maybe after they eat, people are feeling bloated and uncomfortable. You could offer Biomedic as another alternative to the Aloe Digest. So Biomedic is an incredible solution to help with the bloating and the indigestion right afterwards, as well as reducing glyphosate from the overconsumption of all kinds of different foods. And so Biomedic does have a small amount of gluten in it. And I know the question comes up a lot is, what is the gluten-free version to remove glyphosate from your gut? And that is the Aloe Digest combined with the ionic element minerals. That helps to do the same thing as Biomedic without the wheat germ and the gluten. So if you're somebody that's gluten intolerant, or somebody that's gluten intolerant, then that is your solution for them. And lastly, let's deal with stress during the holidays. There's so much stress happening. We're shopping for people. We're taking care of everybody. We have to take care of ourselves first, because we want to pour from a full cup, right? If your cup is only half empty, it's really hard to have that overflowing energy to be able to constantly be able to give and give and give. So it's important that you think about giving back to yourself now so that you can continue to give from your fullness, right? And not be stressed through the holidays. So one of my favorite, and one of the products I think we talk about the least here, is Purium's CBD Plus. How many of you, drop me a 1 in the comments if you use Purium CBD Plus, because this through the holidays and anytime I'm feeling really stressed, oh my goodness, it's so simple. And we do have a peppermint option, which is great for the holidays. Mixing that peppermint CBD into that peppermint bark hot cocoa makes like you're getting a treat, you're getting to relieve your stress and relax, release some inflammation in your body, and just go into the holidays feeling really good. So that's some of the tips that I have here. Oh, and lastly, I wanted to share a little bit of something we've done in the past of around the holidays. If you do want to promote a group transformation pre and post Thanksgiving, this is something that we've done in the past, where you can introduce people to the ultimate lifestyle transformation. And like Carmela shared, you can ease them into the program with the simple program, and then having, going into having 2 shakes a day. And you can do that 10-day cleanse. Something that we've done in the past is either do a 10-day cleanse prior to Thanksgiving, or you can plan one post Thanksgiving. But what we've also done is break that 10-day cleanse up into 2 portions. So you could do a mini marathon 5-day cleanse prior to Thanksgiving, and then go back to core 4 for the weekend, right? For Thursday through Sunday, go back to core 4, and then have them start again Monday through Friday on that 5-day cleanse. So it would be, starting the week before, maybe on Friday through Wednesday, have a 5-day cleanse, and then take a few days of just core 4, the simplified version, and then hopping right back into, detoxing everything from Thanksgiving. And so that's another really fun way to use the ultimate lifestyle transformation and break it up, make it work for us through the holidays, because there's so many options, and it's just about making it work for us, our lifestyle, and the people we're working with, and really meeting them where they're at with the solutions that we have. So I hope those ideas are helpful for you. And Carmela, I'll pass it back to you, and then we'll go ahead and share our in the news since we skipped that earlier.
Absolutely. Thank you, Neva. And wow, Taz, Neva, you have great tips. I'm definitely going into this holiday feeling really confident. And I loved that, you mentioned that, doing a group transformation, because that's really supportive, and you need the support. My team does it, post Thanksgiving group reset for the past 8 years, and it's proven to actually be one of the most desired times to do a reset because people need some support with the regimen, just staying on track during these very hectic times. And we have a promotion now, hashtag PHP Transformation Now, that Dan had put it into the chat. So I want to make sure to mention that 10 people will be chosen from stories and reels of their own personal excitement, enthusiasm to share their transformation stories. And this is up until the 17th that you can submit. And then I do a recipes challenge in my own group, and anyone's more than welcome to join the group if you'd like. But we do a crock pot, Instapot recipes challenge before the holiday, because I think a lot of people need support with either lifestyle meals or meals that they would want to bring for Thanksgiving to their families in a healthy, swapped way with our products, some with products of Purium and some not. And that's for me starting next week. So I'm already getting my recipes ready. Then we have another promotion going on, which is Share Because You Care. And again, this is transformation season. In our community, and what we think of what is an important time to detox is seasonally during the very stressful holidays that incorporate a lot of overeating. And so it goes from Halloween to Thanksgiving to Christmas. This is when all the treats come out. This is when the candy comes out. So this is our community's time to truly share other people's success stories. I did a wonderful Zoom just last night where there were about 5 of my team members shared their stories. And we did not go into all the product information and education. It was just stories. And we're coming out of an eclipse season. People are working with their shadows. People are working in the deeper realms of what they need to do for themselves personally, their personal development, and nutrition and health should be at the forefront. So sharing other people's testimonials right now on your social media is a great way to introduce the program. And I tell you, it's a more effective way than just prospecting business-wise. It's the stories that sell. So we want to make it a relatable issue for humanity right now at large. It is a very toxic time. There's over 148 different man-made chemicals found in the blood and urine samples of Americans that are creating all this endocrine disruptions. So this is the time to show success stories of how we can show how our community is providing those examples. So I think let's pass it back to Naiba, and I'd love to hear, because every week we do share an in the news piece that we want to help you to bring to other people that's relevant in what's in the news for our community.
Thank you so much, Carmela. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Awesome. So we're talking about Thanksgiving, your healthy Thanksgiving roadmap. And I really like this article because they actually gave you, excuse that first little video, but they gave you some really great tips in here. So most people, the holidays are the best time of the year. There's abundance, quality of time with friends and family. We're eating really great food. It's the time of giving and bringing so much joy and spending time together, right? But in that, we wanted to share 8 tips that anyone can follow on staying healthy during the holidays. And we'll go ahead and share this link in our Million Mom Movement official on Facebook. So if you're not there, make sure and join that group. So number 1 tip, stay active, right? We're going to be eating a lot of food. And so find some really fun ways to stay active. And I had an aunt that had a really fun activity that she did every Thanksgiving, and she'd do a treasure hunt around the block. And so she'd actually go, and this is in Montreal, and she would go around, 3 to 5 blocks around her neighborhood, and she would go find different things that she would have as clues. And she would literally hand us all a roadmap after Thanksgiving dinner, and she'd pair us up with one of our cousins or relatives that we didn't see very often. And we would all get to just have one-on-one time with 1 or 2 other relatives. And we would walk around the block together, and they'd send us off like 5 minutes apart. So that way we wouldn't be sharing our clues. And it was a really great experience. And it was a fun way to get us outside right after having a big meal. And she made us do this before dessert. So we had a big meal, then we walked around the block. It would take us about 45 minutes. We'd come back. She would tell us, she'd even give us a prize for whoever found the most clues. So if that inspires you, go around your neighborhood and find some fun clues and make it fun. Find some fun ways for your family to get outside during the holiday. Create new traditions, right? Start a new tradition with your family around having more physical activity, or, again, goes right with that idea, instead of napping it off on the couch, because we all know that after a huge meal, we feel lethargic, we don't have a ton of energy. And that's when that Biomedic and Aloe Digest comes in handy, is to really help kick that feeling and get your energy back up. So create new traditions with your family, healthy traditions, right? Having a power shake before dinner is a healthy tradition that we can start. Don't indulge all week, right? If we're eating all week long, then, by the time we get to Thanksgiving, we've already gained that 5 to 10 pounds. So let's not do that this holiday. Instead, let's make sure that we're getting our core 4 every day, or our 2 shakes a day every day, and 1 healthy meal. And make sure that you are having some balance in your day. Even if you indulge, make sure that you balance that with a green drink and, some healthy eating. So don't fast before a big meal. That goes with having the green shake before eating, right? Don't starve yourself all day and then go into the room, for Thanksgiving feast just starving, because you're going to overfill your plate, you're going to overfill your belly, and you're not going to feel good afterwards. And nobody wants to feel like that while you're, getting to enjoy so many relatives. Then strategize your Thanksgiving plate, right? Like Carmela said, include the rainbow, include all the colors. Maybe if you're bringing a potluck dish to your family Thanksgiving, find out what everybody else is making and figure out what you can make to complement the meal. And if there aren't a lot of green options, maybe you can bring the green beans or the salad or one of the better options. Maybe you can find a recipe for, a healthier pumpkin pie, or you can add some, if you still have some pumpkin protein, you can put some of that in there, or find some other fun, healthy recipes that you could include into the Thanksgiving dinner. And of course, small portions is always a rule of thumb. Make sure that, your portions are small. You can always go back for seconds. And it's important to not overfill your plate, because then you feel like you have to eat it all. So small portions are important. Create a balanced plate, going back to make sure you have vegetables, you have some of all the categories on there, and that's not just all starch. Honestly, when I go to Thanksgiving, I love all the vegetable options. So it's usually mostly vegetables, if not all vegetables on my plate. And then wait a few minutes for seconds or thirds, right? Because it takes a minute, especially if you don't chew. It takes, like, if you chew really good, then you'll feel full by the end of your plate. But if you chew really fast and you're excited and you're talking, and sometimes that happens at festive occasions, then wait a few minutes once you finish your plate. Give it some time, and I promise you, within 5 to 10 minutes, you'll actually feel full, and you probably won't want the seconds. And relax and enjoy your food. Chew your food. Take your time. There's no rush. It's, the turkey's not going to run out. The mashed potatoes aren't going to run out. They're still going to be there when you want more, probably for a few days, right? That's why we don't do that second little 5-day group cleanse till like the weekend after Thanksgiving, because nobody wants to give up on all those leftovers. So think about that and be prepared, right? So in this article, there's also some really great recipes for a maple pecan sweet potato casserole, butternut squash and kale quinoa stuffing, and some others. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the comments. And I see that we're almost at the top of the hour, so I'm going to fly through our call to action real quick. Hang tight. So we've been doing a call to action the last few weeks, and let's see. The call to action today is on number 28, the organic split peas. It's the 365 brand from Whole Foods. And this has 49 parts per billion. The safe level is 10 parts per billion. But the even more alarming thing is that it isn't a USDA organic labeled product as well. So how does this happen? It happens after they test the farms and give them an organic certification. Some of these farms still use glyphosate at the end of their farming practice right before harvest. So it still gets contamination with glyphosate, which is very unfortunate. And we would like to have a call to action to 365, which is a Whole Foods brand. So I'd like to ask you to go over to Instagram, to their Whole Foods page, let's see, I'm already looking at the post that we were gonna comment on. And let me see if I can click out of here. Okay, Whole Foods page, here it is. So we'd like to invite you to come over to Whole Foods page on Instagram today and make a comment. We're looking at reels. So the second reel here with the, is that the one we were, oh no, sorry, fourth reel over. This one that's a 365 brand granola. So we'd like to invite you to come over to their reels right here in the middle and then go to the fourth one over, which you can see right here, it's 365 brand. And we left a comment right here from the Million Mom Movement. It has come to our attention that your organic 365 brand split peas, among other products, have been found to have above safe levels of glyphosate, 49 parts per billion, according to the Glyphosate Project's article, Glyphosate Contamination Report. We are concerned and would like to know what you are doing to remove ingredients that contain this toxic chemical from your store shelves. So this is a message from the Million Mom Movement. We'd like to invite you to go share your own passion. Be kind, ask questions, ask them what they're doing about this. The more we share our voices on this platform, the more they're going to know that we want real organic food and not just the label that still contains glyphosate. So that's the call to action for today. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to you, Carmela.
Oops, there's the mute button. Thanks so much, Neva. I love that in the news piece. And guys, please help us with our call to action. We really need your voices, just like Neva had said. So I'm going to close out, and I wanted to remind you guys of this book, The Toxin That Came to Dinner, because we're going to be going to dinners with our family and whatnot. What a better way to introduce specifically our glyphosate-free gut health reset than to talk about the toxin at our dinner. And it's a really small read, like as you can see, it's relatively easy, but what you're going to want to show them are the statistics of the charts, right? The fact that we're talking about the second brain is all in there, everything about gut health. So this is a nice gift. I think there's a 5-pack, maybe there may not be, but there's also a virtual free version. So this is something I just want to encourage you all to have conversations at the dinner table, and maybe when you bring that nice dish as well. But I wish you all a wonderful week ahead, and we will see you next week. And let's see, our topic for the next week. Give me a moment. Unless Neva, you want to jump in?
I can jump in. So the next week's topic is diabetes, why greens are important. And since it's Diabetes Awareness Month, we're going to be talking about this all week long. So Dave next Wednesday is going to be talking about diabetes. On Friday, we're going to be talking about diabetes and why greens are important. And we'd also like to invite you to our Lunch and Learn this month on November 16th, where we're going to be talking about diabetes in Native communities and how it's so detrimental to underserved communities and food deserts. So we'd like to invite you to all of those presentations about diabetes awareness this month. Back to you, Carmela.
Perfect. No, that's great, Neva. Thank you so much for adding that in. And our Lunch and Learns are every third Wednesday. So we will see you again in our community. See you next Fierce Friday. Bye for now.